And are y'all saving that seat? Do you mind moving over? And then, because it looks like we've got a few more, and if we don't, spread out.
No, that's fine.
Turn your microphone on. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hi, I'm Leah. I'm the Executive Director of LifeQuest, and I'm using the microphone so that our online Zoomers can hear me more clearly. This does not really project my voice in this room, so I'm going to try to do that, but wave your hand if you missed something, or do this and we'll speak up a little louder. I've been at LifeQuest. This is completing my 7th year, and I've been in every position, and now I'm executive director. So that's what you get when you stay long enough. You know, but I want to introduce a couple of the other staff members. In the back is Heather Thompson. She's our business manager. We brought her in the spring. That was my first great act of leadership, was to have somebody who knows how to do the numbers and payroll. So we're glad to have Heather. Gina, you'll see her a lot if you're taking in-person classes, and you'll hear her voice if you're taking online classes. Gina's our program coordinator, and we say IT guru. She's the one that we always call for when something doesn't work on the laptop or the projectors. We holler, Gina, and she comes running. And then Donna, you want to say hello? Donna.
Hello.
Donna is in the office, but she's also monitoring and starting our Zoom class so that our people that are taking this today with us and can join us on Zoom. And this is LifeQuest. This is how LifeQuest works. We have hybrid classes, we have online classes, we have in-person classes. It is just the new way. It's the silver lining of the pandemic, is to be able to reach people. So we have members now attending from all over the place, and we'll tell you about that in a minute. But I'm so delighted you're here. It's so great to see faces of our people, to have our Zoomers joining with us, and to have so many new and new again folks join LifeQuest. Okay, let's see what we got. Nothing. I don't either. Gina! Well, I can tell you what it's going to say. This is our mission. LifeQuest provides lifelong learning and meaningful volunteerism and communities within the community. It's always a little bit different. Volunteer service within the community. And the reason we keep that volunteer part, we know about the lifelong learning. That's why y'all are here. You're here to take classes. Did you know that all of your classes are taught by volunteer instructors? All of your classes are taught by volunteer instructors. They volunteer their time, which is a huge commitment of time. Some of these instructors are teaching 8 weeks on some pretty heavy topics. Sometimes we have a class where we have 8 different instructors presenting under one topic, and they're all donating their time to LifeQuest. It's a huge commitment, and we couldn't do it without them, for sure. Here's some. We have a board member at the top. We have dancing board members. That's because they have so much fun. And I want to point out Marcy Smith, smiling in the corner there. She's our poster child for LifeQuest. She just really is. Marcy, on February of 22 this year, drove up in the rain to teach her class, Advanced Conversational Spanish, on Zoom, and it was her 100th birthday.
Wow.
See what'll happen if you take LifeQuest classes? You too can be teaching a class on your 100th birthday, or taking a class. Yeah, she's teaching again. She's just really remarkable. Has been teaching that for LifeQuest for over 20 years. This is the staff. You've met some of us already, and all of us already, except for Donna, but you see her face too. And we want you to know us so that you can ask us questions, ask us directions, get more information, and invite your friends. LifeQuest began in 1981. It began as Shepherd Center of Little Rock. We are still a contributing member of the Shepherd Centers of America. Shepherd Centers are all over the United States with the same mission to provide services for retired age members of their communities from coast to coast. LifeQuest changed its name to LifeQuest in 2003 because there was a lot of shepherds in Little Rock. Good Shepherd, this rehab center named Shepherd. So we distinguished ourselves by changing our name to LifeQuest. But here you can see a group of interfaith congregations that joined together. I think it was 14 in 1981 that decided to serve the older members of their congregations. They wanted an ecumenical interfaith way to provide services for their seniors, and they joined up with Shepherd Centers of America. We are still a member and we still take pride in our position here. Our offices have been a part of Second Presbyterian Church from the very beginning. But many people don't know this. We're not a Presbyterian organization. We're not affiliated with any church organization, but we do sort of filter in and still have a lot of support from our congregations that continue to support us for 41 years. We're all about the learning, though. That's how we've distinguished ourselves. That's what makes LifeQuest different than other Shepherd Centers. We're the largest educational Shepherd Center. Our sole mission is to provide educational opportunities for our members. And I think because we're a small city, we're the only game in town, but we have educational institutions all over us. We're the government seat. We're the center of healthcare for our state, and we have all the colleges and universities. So it just filters down to, we have this abundance of brains here in Little Rock that we can access to provide classes. But since we've been in online the last 2 years, we had to be completely online for almost 2 years. Started back in hybrid, just baby stepping back to in-person last spring. So this is the first big term that we've had since the beginning of the pandemic for 2.5 years to be a true hybrid program. And now we have pockets of members in Northwest Arkansas, in 6 surrounding states. We have a member Zooming in with us half the year from Scotland. We have a regular attendee from Philadelphia, and we have instructors teaching from out of state. We have a regular Jerry Hansen from Washington, D.C. We have one, where's Dr. Griebling now? Ohio. She's teaching global music from Ohio. So that's what you can do when you have an outreach that has grown successfully.
Before you leave this slide, I do want to explain where it says the $65 fee for 8-week terms and the $35 for 4-week terms. Sometimes people think that means one class per fee. It covers all of the classes. So that $65 covers any of the classes that you want to sign up for. You could do 2 classes on Monday and 3 on Wednesday and all of them on Thursday, however your schedule works out. So if you've only signed up for one class and you wanted to try something else out, please let us know. If you didn't sign up for an online class because you just think, well, I'm just going to be there in person, look at our recordings later because you've paid for those as well. And so you can watch the recordings even if you didn't sign up for the class. I don't want you to feel like I've only signed up for Brummett. That's all I can do. I want you to explore what else we have and just see if anything else strikes your fancy.
Yeah, you get quite a bit more bang for your buck the more classes you take, because your $65, as she said, covers the entire term. You're a member of LifeQuest for $65 for the term that you're taking classes. So it'll be another $65 if you take in the winter term and another $65 in the spring term, but there'll be a whole new batch. Some of them will be the same, but there'll be a different mixture of classes in that winter term and in that spring term. Those are all 8 weeks. And then in the summer, like she mentioned, is a 4-week class. I just think the recordings are some of the one of the benefits of the online classes. So if you take a class, but you missed a week, you can watch the recording if it's recorded. And if you're wondering, is it recorded? Hold up that picked up. It's written in the description of your brochure, and I've brought extra copies of those in the back, and they're in the office as well. So is this class recorded? I missed it. I need to watch the recording. You can check your brochure, or you can give us a call. And we'll show you how to get to those recordings so you'll know how to log in and see them. Do you have any questions right now? We're going to show you about the recordings in a minute, but do I have any questions just about how we're organized, or our instructors, or where they come from? I saw Ann Parrott. Can you come up? It does. Come on up and I'll introduce you. Ann is the chair of our curriculum committee. And so sometimes I get a question when I'm speaking about town. Well, how do you decide what classes to hold at LifeQuest, and who vets all those instructors? Well, Ann's in charge of the group that does. This is for our Zoom.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It's great to see all these new faces. This is really exciting to get us back into the having people. Yeah. And especially the opportunity for you all to experience what we have had. I started in LifeQuest in 2013. Okay, I started in LifeQuest in 2013, and I started out doing art because that was my thing. And so I started out with one drawing class, and then I moved on to drawing and water media, and then I moved on to oil painting, and then I moved on to the curriculum committee because I had gotten active, and the lady who was doing it had some health problems, and she asked me to take over for her. And what that involved was recruiting teachers. And how we get our teachers is we have people on a curriculum committee. We right now have 19, 18, somewhere around in there, people. Each one is interested. We're never always only interested in one thing, because, people are not, singly interested. But we have interests, like I do art. So I recruit teachers for the art classes. Then there's somebody who likes history or geography, and then they have friends who like that. So then they recruit them. We have a series of a group of attorneys and judges who like what would you call that? What they do? Yeah, historical topics. They do things like women spies in history, or Lincoln's friends, famous women in cinema. I mean, it's just, and then each one of them takes a person that would fit the topic. They're some of the most interesting classes ever, because each person only has to research one person, so they do a good job of it. All our teachers are volunteers. So you'd think it would be hard to recruit teachers, because especially with the art teachers, I'm recruiting people who get paid, but if I can get them in here once, they are forever. Oh, I'd be happy to do that, because the people that they're teaching are so interesting and interested. And it's such a warm, non-judgmental environment. And if I find that if I take classes in art, I meet other people interested in art, and then we become friends. I've made some really good friends that way, but I also like gardening. So I sponsored the gardening class, so there's just so many opportunities once you get involved. And if you don't have to necessarily be on the curriculum committee to have an idea, because, you kind of use up all your options after a while. So, like if you have a friend who's really good in art and would like to teach art, well, then come talk to me. We're not limited to just who we know, and we don't want our program to be limited. So many of our teachers are retired professors. What a deal that is, because what college tuition is these days. So we're getting these same teachers for $65, and that's, you can get multiple because as Gina said, you can get one class for $65. You can take 9 classes. It's still $65. It's the best deal in town. It's only up to what your energy level is. But anyway, so curriculum committee, we get the committee, we get the things together. Where was that other slide where that had the little, the last slide had the little symbols? Yeah. Is that, oh, that's the fall, spring, winter. I was thinking I was sorry, that's not the symbols. But we have some little symbols that sometimes pop up here and there, but we have color coded the subjects matters, and I can't remember the English and books, that kind of thing is one. Art is one. History and geography is one. Politics and something is another one. And then there's a kind of a general fun stuff. We because we couldn't really categorize it, which would be like the Tai Chi and the games and knitting and that sort of thing that are just sort of maybe hobbies. And so then when we look at our schedule, we pop that color code on there and we see, oh my gosh, we have only 2 health related classes for winter, because all of a sudden, we see, so we try to police, sort of not police, monitor what to balance out. So there's not all one, if I had my way, there would be nothing but art. No, no, that's not true. But we try to monitor what a balance, a good balance, so that if somebody's interested in health related subjects and social issues, that there'll be plenty of things 1 hour after another, and they won't all be at the same time. And so that's where the curriculum committee comes in. We do that kind of trying to make sure we recruit in a balanced manner.
We'll say one common complaint we get is that we offer too many classes you want to attend at the same time. And so while we do try to balance, we also have to take in consideration what space is available at the church.
Yes.
When does the instructor want to teach? Because they're volunteering their time. Maybe they only have 11 o'clock on Wednesday available, and that's just when they go. So it's a fun logistical Rubik's Cube that I get to play in placing all your classes. So if you get upset, don't blame me, blame the instructor. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah. And it turns out, you're interested in more than one thing. And so like book club, and what was the other thing that came up that was going to be, I can't remember what it was, and I'm like, well, these are totally divergent subjects, but I'm interested in both of them. And they're both at 10 o'clock on Thursday. So even with trying, there are going to be times when there's 2 things you want to take at the same time, but there's always the video. So all is not lost. So anyway, if you have ideas for classes, we all have little curriculum committee tags. And if you have ideas, we love to have ideas for more classes. If you could teach a class, if you have a friend who wants to teach a class, we're open to listening. We might have to ask it to be delayed a semester or so because we already have something that's similar scheduled. We have to look out for that kind of thing, but we're always open to hearing ideas. We do prefer it, if you have this great idea, that it comes including a teacher. I don't need to explain that. Okay, But welcome to LifeQuest. It has so much to offer. And I know that you're just going to keep coming back after you experience this semester.
I've really enjoyed working with Anne. She's rolling off as chair at the end of this year, but we are not letting her go very far. She will be an advisor, and we hope that she provides lots of advice like she always does, because we've gotten so many great classes from Anne. But one of the things that is interesting, in the middle here, you see John Brummett. He's the behind the headlines guy. He's a Arkansas Democrat Gazette columnist, and this is his 25th year of teaching at LifeQuest. And if you read his column, love him or hate him, he gets his ideas and he gets challenged on his ideas by his LifeQuest class. His column comes out on Thursday. It is not uncommon for him after his Wednesday morning LifeQuest class to go rewrite his column. LifeQuesters keep trying to pull him towards center. They fail. He leans left. You know that. That's okay. We welcome all opinions. Keep trying to yank him back toward the center, and he'll love it. He loves the debate. He's always in the sanctuary at 9. That class is not full. So if you'd like to attend, register for it. So we can get you in there. This is Tom Cox, jazz pianist. He teaches every term. It is a meditative, good for the soul class. Includes his own original compositions as well as the greats, and he'll provide you a little story, a little history behind it. Connie Wardell, the reason I have her up here for crafting with Connie, that's her class, is this is not something she majored in college. She has not built her whole career as a crafter. A lot of the times our instructors are teaching outside of their professional areas. Do you remember what Connie's profession was? Education, but because they have developed their own hobby. So we have orthopedic surgeons teaching a photography class, on the national parks. Dr. John Slater, he'll be teaching that in the winter term. It's just really incredible, and it's really representative of what LifeQuest is. Lifelong learners, whether they're instructors or members. Another thing that I think is pretty wonderful about LifeQuest is it's such a close loop circle of board members, volunteers, and members. Our board members might teach, a board member might teach a class and might take classes. Our members might become instructors, might get on the board or the curriculum committee. So it's a real close feedback loop. Does that make sense? Everybody's pretty invested in the mission. Some fun facts. Were you going to go over this? You want me to? Fun facts. Well, you can read them, and but we have about 1,400 active members right now. There's more women than men, so bring your male friends and spouses with you. We have quite an age range. LifeQuest members are not all alike. There's no minimum age to join, and there's no maximum age. Sometimes people ask me, how old do you have to be at LifeQuest? Well, I mean, because the classes are in the daytime, they're geared toward retired age adults, and they're taught by a lot of retired instructors who have retired. But by no means does that mean you can't be working and attend a class, and that does happen. Some of our instructors are also employed and just take time out to take a class. And LifeQuest members, if you think about, if you're most of our members are our new members are recently retired, so they may be caring for a parent. And then as they stay, because once we get you hooked, you pretty much come back. Once they stay, at some point, you may be in that caregiving role, or your spouse or relative may be. So there's a lot of different issues that affect. We've seen a lot of people in their late 70s go through a lot of transition. I mean, it's like as if they were in a much younger period of their life. They're downsizing, they're moving across country to be with their kids or grandkids. Some of them are moving here. And this is a great welcome mat for those folks. And if you fit into that category, you can let us know, to meet other people and to get involved in the community. We are volunteer driven. I think I've made that point. Our board is a volunteer board. It's about right now 17-member board. Our curriculum committee you've heard from, instructors, and a lot of key volunteers. If you have an interest in volunteering, we could use you to help stuff the newsletter, to get those in the mail 4 times a year, to help us put name tags together, to be greeters, to pass out information, to monitor an online class. We'll teach you how to do that. It's usually just sit there and click a button. So there's a lot of ways for you to get involved as well. And I've mentioned our online participants. Here's some more folks. We've got some members of their curriculum committee. That's Eileen in her pretty yellow jacket and out at Ann's porch this spring at a luncheon. In the middle is Ellen Lowitz in the red, helping teach Mahjong, one of our most popular classes. We love Ellen. And then on the last picture is a group of volunteers stuffing those newsletters that everybody got. And if you didn't get one, let us know. We'll get you on the mailing list. So we could use volunteers all the time. We are a nonprofit 501c3, which means we are supported by donations from corporations. We have a lot of corporate sponsors. I'll show you that slide in a minute. Congregations, I've mentioned that. Some people think, well, why do you need donations? I paid a registration fee. Well, as I mentioned, registration fees are $65, but we do have equipment, materials, rent, because we pay rent to the church and staff to pay. So right now, registration fees only cover about 27% of our operating costs. That's not a lot. And so we've got to raise the money. So we don't pepper you with fundraisers. We try to have an event in the spring called LifeQuest Gives. We'll have an end of the year letter. Occasionally we have a special event. We have one coming up in October, Founders Day. That is a fundraising event that will be held at Temple B'nai Israel on October 20th. That's a great way to meet people. It'll be really a lot of fun. So we have a few fundraisers throughout the year, but really just the LifeQuest Gives in April, and then corporate sponsorships as well. We don't get any kind of federal or state funding. I'm open to that if anybody's got a connection, but right now we don't rely on grants of any kind. So you'll recognize these names as Arkansas greats, corporations. Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield has been with us from the very beginning. Arkansas Democrat Gazette is one of our largest sponsors. They did a great article about us in Sunday's paper. I don't know if anybody saw the low profile section of the high profile page. It's the below the fold section. Look in your Sunday paper. There's a great article about LifeQuest and our Founders Day event. But we've got some organizations like Chenal Pines and Memory Care of Little Rock and Presbyterian Village. We don't have a ton of members there, but they are supportive of us because their missions support active, engaged, healthy, retired age folks. So our missions are kind of similar. And here's where I'm going to turn it over to Gina, so you don't have to hear from me all day, but here's just some more great volunteers. And I will stick around. We're going to do some tours in about 10 minutes, but I really want Gina to show you how to log in. Even if you're not taking an online class, this is an important piece of information because there may be a handout in your lecture class, and that instructor will put it online on our website, and so she'll show you how to get to those.
Okay, so again, my name is Gina, and I just want to point out before we change slides that this gentleman here on the bottom corner, this is Charlie Frith. He teaches a lot of our digital learning classes. He and a few other people volunteer to help assist you if you have a computer need or a phone need. So while they teach classes, if all of a sudden you can't get your printer to work and you don't want to call Best Buy, and it's not really important that it gets fixed that day, it may take a week for one of our volunteers to come out because they have lives and they're busy, but we want you to take advantage of that. That's one other service we offer besides classes. So digital one-on-one is what you would call and say, I need help with this. Okay. Logistics are kind of my area. Lee is the fun bit. Brass tacks, here we go. Before in-person classes begin, if we do not already know that you have been vaccinated, we need to see a copy of your COVID card if you attend in person. That way we will have a name tag ready for you. At this time, our COVID policy is that all of our members must be vaccinated to the fullest extent that CDC allows for your age. We know that they just came out with another vaccination last week. We're not going to enforce that for this term because it wasn't published in our brochure. Try to get it this fall before the next term begins. If we have to go to high, because we watch the CDC's website for when the county goes high, it's Pulaski County specific. We have tried to make these classes in spaces where high numbers can be accommodated, but you will have to wear a mask in the building at that time. For medium, masks are optional, but your instructor can say, I feel more comfortable if you wear a mask. We already know that in the paper crafting class, for instance, she's going to ask her class to all wear masks. In the sculpting class, that sculpting instructor is going to ask all of the students to wear a mask. If you get to the church parking lot, you don't have one, come by the office. We have some extra on hand. Before the term begins, there are some classes that are online only on Facebook. So if you want to watch Behind the Headlines or U.S. Foreign Policy or Founding Mothers online, you will need to join our private Facebook group. And that link was sent to you in your registration email if you've already registered. So please do that before next Wednesday. Fall 2022 LifeQuest private group. It changes every term because that group is for paid members for that term. On Facebook, we also have a public page. So we kind of have two personas. We have a public persona that everybody gets to see, and we have a private persona that's only for members that term. So when you register, you also get a password, and I'll tell you about that later in just a few minutes. First, I'm going to talk about parking for those of you who are here. Because there is also a preschool in the building, we do not unlock doors at the end of this hallway or at the end of this hallway. So it's to get to classes here pretty much means you're going to want to park in front of the sanctuary or on the north side of the building, which is also where the handicap spots are mostly located. You can exit any of these doors, but you can't enter. The parking lot is probably not going to be as congested as it has been maybe in 2018. At one time, we did run a shuttle between here and St. James. This term, we have about 430 people enrolled. So we hope that while parking might get a little tight at times, it's not going to be too bad. We'll keep watching that number grow, hopefully. Invite your friends and start a shuttle service back up in the future if we can. Snacks and coffee. We will have snacks and coffee at the area where there are little tables arranged on Wednesdays and Thursdays, because those are the days we focus on in-person classes. If our COVID levels are at medium or low, snacks galore. If you have the inkling to say, you know, my favorite snack is Little Debbie's oatmeal pies. I didn't see any last week, so I should bring some to LifeQuest. So we'll have them next week. Go ahead. And we'll set them out the next week. If you want to, I had someone call yesterday and said, well, what about prepackaged or individually wrapped homemade snacks? And I said, we love snacks. We love homemade snacks. Please don't bring them early or we'll eat them all before the day comes. But please bring them on the day of and set them out for everybody to enjoy. So yeah, this summer we started with snacks and then it went to high. And we have some snacks saved, but with 430 people, it's nice. You know, it's kind of like Kleenex for your kids at school. If you remember ever having to give Kleenex, it was great at the beginning of the year, but people forgot at the end and all. That's when the winter happened and the kids got all the sniffles. So week 4 or 5, we still need snacks. So I'm just putting that out there. I've already talked about wearing masks. Name tags. You will get a name tag if we have a picture of your COVID card or if we've seen a picture. On our tour, I have the name tag card pulled out, so you'll see what that looks like. It will be in the snack area on Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, we'll probably put it in front of the sanctuary because that's where most of the people will come in for classes. So just look for the big white cart. Name tags, they're assigned a number. If you don't feel like keeping up with it at the end of your class, you can put it back in the cart. If you think, well, I can keep up with this for 8 weeks, then just take it and put it in your purse, put it in your car. Every term you get a new name tag. So there's no need to save it from term to term. It'll get a new number on it because sometimes you might be available to come in the winter. Sometimes you may only come in the summer. We really want you to wear it. That helps tell your instructor that you're eligible to be here in person. And if you don't know names or you're really bad at names like I am, it is so helpful to be able to see at a glance who you are. And I'm the worst at names. I can see you for 20 years and not remember your name at first glance. So yeah, I'm just saying it's helpful. Okay, to log in to LifeQuest website, in your registration confirmation email was a username and a password. Would you turn off the lights for this so people can see this a little better? Your username is always LifeQuest every term. It is not your email. It is not what you've sent us to register for. It is LifeQuest for everybody. Every term, the password changes. And your registration email will have that in there. If you are taking a limited class, you will be emailed the password specifically for that class after we've received enough registrations to close the class or the week before. This is what our website looks like when you click the login button. So this is not what the front page looks like. And by the way, the address is lifequestofarkansas.org. So when you click login underneath our logo, it will ask for your username and password. After you do that, you can click login and it's going to say, welcome to your class portal. If you're taking an online class, the class access button will take you to a list of classes in chronological order. It starts with Monday at this time, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Underneath each class description will either be a Zoom button or a Facebook button or both. And that depends on what your instructor says. Some instructors are anti-recording. They only want in person. Some instructors want their class out there everywhere. Anybody can watch it. So if you attend a class on Facebook, you can go here to class access, scroll down to behind the headlines. Underneath it will be a button only for Facebook. Click it and it will take you to our Facebook page. Facebook videos are a little bit different in that they don't open up that video. You might have to scroll up and down the page to look for a video that has the word live in the corner. You might want to be careful because we have had people watch a video from 2 weeks ago and say, oh, I really enjoyed this class today. That was great. And then I have to go back and say, I'm so sorry, you're in the wrong class. Please hurry and go up and find the one that's happening right now, because I don't want you to miss the most current stuff. Underneath this is the button called Materials. And this button, we make this offer available to all our instructors, no matter if they teach in person or online. If an instructor, for instance, has a syllabus and they want you to be able to see it, it can be in the materials section. In an art class, if they say, here is the picture I'm going to base my model off this week, it'll be in materials. If they want to share a funny video of otters swimming, I'll put it there. And so just check it frequently. That's something your instructor may remember to say, may not, just kind of every once a week, maybe just go and see, did my instructor send anything there? Underneath is class recordings. These are the recordings that happened this term. We also have a library of all of the videos we've ever done. And just a real quick pitch, it's $50 for the year. It's an annual fee, good from January to December. Right now, there are over 300 videos available from previous classes. So when you click this recordings button, it's going to take you to another page and you'll just look for videos.
Before you leave that, let me just go back real quick. So she got to class access, materials, and recordings immediately after she logged in. If you have any trouble with your login, or if this is clear as mud to you, call us. We will walk you through it over the phone. As soon as you get it, you'll go, oh, okay. I just capitalized something that I wasn't supposed to, or I just put a space or went to. It's probably something pretty easy. It's not you. It's not your computer. It's just a routine that we have to get into, and everything's easy once you know how, So if it's not clear, just call us. We're used to talking through people with it all the time and helping them.
And I don't want to hear anybody say, I'm too old for this.
Oh, no.
I have taught
That's what I
all
like that.
ages. If you can log on to your computer, we can get you here. And that's all. You turn on your computer, make sure it has internet access, and we'll get you there.
Okay, I'm
So,
gonna jump in here and say,
Okay.
if you do your classes, online classes on your iPad, you can bring your iPad by and we can make it just one really simple place for you to go to get to your classes. So if you want to bring your iPad by, we can make it an icon on your iPad where you'll just click on that and that will take you to our webpage and into the class.
She's going to repeat
Right.
that for the back.
We know a lot of people have Arkansas Democrat Gazette iPads, and other people have bought tablets of some sort. If you're having difficulty on your tablet or your iPad, bring it to the office and we'll help you get set up with a shortcut on your homepage where you just open it and it will take you to our website. So easy peasy. This last slide, we do joint trips with Colette Travel. This next year, we're going to have a trip to America's Cowboy Country in June of 2023. If you go to our website and look for our special events tab, you can find out more information. There is $50 off if you register before December 12th, I believe. So now we're going to do tours.
Well, I want to
Maybe?
talk about real quick curbside meals. We forgot to say that. So normally when we are in session, we like to have a hot sit down together lunch in the Great Hall. Pre-pandemic, we would have 150 people dining together with a short program. We're going to get back to that. But in the meantime, we have something that we think works really well. We have curbside pickup for meals. That we've had a chef located here at the church provide those for us. Chef Brenda, she's off this fall. We hope to bring her back in the winter time. But right now we have Market Street Catering that is doing pickup casseroles. Each casserole is 2 servings. They're baked. They're kind of ready to warm. There's some great homemade desserts. I've seen his kitchen. He makes everything from scratch. And so it's a pretty good deal. You order them about a week ahead of time, and the menu is in the brochure. And so this is just something, we're not making money off of this, and really neither is he, or he's making a little bit of money, I guess. But it's just a service to our LifeQuest members to provide you a midweek meal. So it's on Wednesdays at noon is the pickup, and you let us know the Wednesday before and we'll put your order in. And then you pick them up. We'll show you. Leanne, you can show them when we go through the kitchen foyer area where they drive through to pick up those at Wednesday at noon. Any questions before we break for tours? You can ask a lot of your questions on the tour, but yes, sir. Uh-huh. There is there not this term, Jeannie? Jeannie is our genealogy teacher, and she's traveling this fall. Our instructors are volunteers. So, if they want to travel, they get to do that. But she will be back. She's a pretty regular, Jeannie Rollberg, and she's going to teach in the winter term. He asked about genealogy. Yeah, that's a regular class. We love that class.
Leah, before you guys go on your tour, can you turn the PowerPoint off and maybe see some of these faces of the people who we have online and find out if we have any
we'll do that right
questions
now.
for
You
them?
get to see our Zoomers, but go ahead and ask your question while she's doing. We're going to take you right by the office, and there's a basket right outside the office. Look at all those Zoomers. Oh, awesome. We love y'all. Hello. So we have almost as many on Zoom as we have in here. Again, very typical for a LifeQuest class. Some of these folks are out of town. It's convenient to Zoom from home. People say they're sick of Zoom, but they really are. They really love it. Jeannie has a question.
Probably be in the snack area.
We'll show you. The kitchen
Okay, can
foyer
you
is what I
repeat the
call it.
questions?
The name tags on Thursdays will be in the snack area, the kitchen foyer area. Okay, let's break for tours. Zoomers, call the office if you have any questions.
Or
Gina
you
will
can
answer
ask
them.
me.
What?
The Zoomers, you can ask me if you have a question.
Okay, we're gonna move.
I
They're
wanted to
gonna go
see,
tour, so if you guys have some questions.
I wanted
think
to see
Lynn-
the people that were in class.
Yeah, Lynn would like
in
for you to
person.
flip the computer around and show some of the people that are in class. If anybody wants to wave hi. I don't know if they can do that or not. I think they've already gone on there. I think they've left us.
Oh, well.
Already gone on their tour and left us behind.
Oh, well.
So,
Well, Donna, I will see you Thursday.
yes, ma'am.
And
Do y'all have any questions or about getting on your classes, or how many are you are also taking classes in person, or are you only taking online? Rooney, you're taking classes in person. Lynn's an expert in taking classes, so she's also a good person to answer questions. So classes start next Monday. We have a couple of in-person classes on Mondays and Tuesdays. Most of them are on Wednesdays and Thursdays. A lot of the times on Zoom, you'll see my face or Gina's face starting your Zoom meeting. And when we're not in here, well, my face is often the first one you see because I sit closest to the door. So I'm also most often the one who's going to answer the phone when you call. So if you have any problems getting on to your classes, don't hesitate to give us a call. If you do them on an iPad or a laptop and you want some help to make sure you know how to get there, bring your device by and we'll walk through that with you. I think Lynn's bringing her iPad in this week from her and I to make sure she's all set up to do class on there. Lynn actually teaches a class. And so in addition to taking classes, she's one of our people who teach with us. And so we're really excited about this term. We're building back. So we were up in the 700 to 800 people taking classes with us before COVID. And so we're still building things back. And so we're glad to have you guys here. Some of you I recognize and some of you I know are new, but I can't wait to see you either online or in person as we go through the fall term. So there's lots of exciting things. I'm also the person that you ask if you want to volunteer. And if you don't ask, I'll just ask you.
and she won't say no.
I will not say no. I will find some way for you to help volunteer. So do y'all have any questions? Are y'all excited about the term coming up? Fantastic. So we'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
Give us a call
you,
if you have
Dan.
any problems between now and then. If you're going to come
Thank
in
you, Dawn.
person and we haven't gotten your COVID card, you can email it to us. You can drop it by the office. You can text it if you get an email from me, and my personal number is on there and you can text it to me.
I just had a question that I thought of when you said that. We
Sure.
just got our booster, which means it's the 5th shot.
We're
Will
good.
people have to bring the newest one in, or they're
No,
good
not for this
with-
term. So like,
Okay.
if you want to, we're not even keeping them on file. We're just checking to make sure you have them. We're not wanting to
Okay.
keep anybody's medical information on file. And so
Okay.
we're just kind of checking that you have it and marking you in the system. So
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it, Donna. Thank you.
see you guys next week.